Michelle Deering, and welcome to our Tea Time Timeout for Moms. And again, this is a time where I just set aside time to be with you. If you're a mom who happens to be working from home, had to work from home in light of everything going on, or who has always been at home working to take care of your family or doing a combination thereof. This is a time for us to just gather together uh, and pause to consider ourselves first and what's going on with us. So I'd love to hear from you. Again, this is a community where um, it's just for moms. If you happen to be a guy who's tuning in, welcome. Definitely encourage the significant ladies in your life to join us during this time. Uh, I have some tips, especially given that we're in the midst of a particular holiday season. Um, and sometimes, I guess, for moms, it's easy to, or it's not uncommon for us to really just want things to be a certain way around different holidays. And I know everyone is having to think about ways in which to still have some normalcy in the midst of a very unusual, abnormal time in human history here. So I just had a few thoughts about how you could uh, still feel normal or have some normalcy within this particular holiday season. Uh, and the first is uh, it's going to be important to dial in discussions about what it is that you're hoping to have happening during that particular holiday season that you're in or that you may celebrate. Um, really ask everyone for their input. And as you're asking them for their input, it's going to be really important to listen for what it is that each person's expressed need is. And a lot of times when folks are talking about, you know, a topic, what they say is one thing, but also pay attention to what they're not saying, okay? Because they might be feeling tentative to actually say it. So as you're engaging in discussion about what it is folks are expecting or desiring or looking forward to for the holiday season, really listen for what the expressed need is, but also what is not being expressed. Okay, and that's a place where you can check in with your family members. The second thing to keep in mind in order to try to have some kind of normalcy around the holidays, the second thing would be to relax the rules. One of my favorite musicals is the musical Fiddler on the Roof. I just love the song when he says traditions, traditions, traditions. Okay, so I love that song, but if you listen to the lyrics of that song, and especially when he's talking about, uh, why are things done in their community or in their family, it's because that's always the way it's been done. Their parents did it, now they do it, etc. So sometimes as moms, we can get wedded to, it just won't feel like a particular holiday if X doesn't happen. Okay, whereas that's important if that particular X thing is not able to happen, especially this year because of everything that's going on. Um, I understand that. Maybe if there's another way to pull back from it and just relax the rules around X particular thing having to happen, that might help alleviate some of the pressure off yourself. It might feel sad, and granted, I do know that sadness in terms of not being able to, like when I was growing up, Easter is a big thing, and there were the palms. During Palm Sunday was a big thing in my family growing up because we did all sorts of things with the palms, and it was a very decorative thing. But now, this year, we're not able to do that, so I've had to kind of lax or ease up on the traditions a little bit. So that's something you might want to consider. And then lastly, the third thing, in order to try to get some normalcy uh, around this holiday, would be to manage the message that you're trying to have your family gather around. So, um, for some people, the holidays, the main message is family is together. Okay, so is there a way to at least cultivate what that togetherness as a family might look like differently this time around? Doesn't mean that it won't change back to the way it's always been, but at least for today and this season, maybe it's something that you could reconsider. Um, or if your message is, okay, for us, it's really about just having some fun. Okay, well, if fun for your family has always been to go out and do certain things or go to a restaurant and things of that nature, and that's not feasible right now, um, then what ways can we make the mealtime fun more fun in a different environment that's closer to home? So it's a perfect opportunity to think outside the box and kind of run with it. That would be fun. Okay. So those are some things to consider. So as a summary, um, some ways to at least start facilitating and having some normalcy around the holidays would be to dial in the discussion, make sure you're talking to everyone about what their expectations and hopes are for the holiday. Two, relax the rules around the traditions just a little bit. Okay, that will actually ease up some of the pressure. Okay, and then manage the message that you're really focusing in on. If it was a whole bunch of things, then narrow it down to maybe one or two that are really important, and have that be the focus of your holiday season this go round. Um, those are some of my thoughts, and I'm kind of wondering um, what some traditions are that you guys might have in your family around Easter. Uh, just drop that in the comments. So as you're doing that, there's another thing that I've kind of been pondering, and wonder what you guys think about this. Um, for those who are of a Christian tradition, there's this concept of, there was a burial that happened and then there was a resurrection. Um, and it got me thinking about what things we bury inside of ourselves. Um, I just want you to pause and consider that, because as we go through life, there are things that happen that we may have um, participated in or may have been the recipient of that might not have gone the way we would have liked them to. And we have feelings and thoughts about that. And sometimes we express them and sometimes we don't. I guess the old adage is we stuff it, which is kind of like burying stuff. So I'm wondering if we could just pause to just consider, is there anything that we've buried inside and kind of either locked the door of our heart on and thrown away the key? Because when I think about burial and say a seed that is buried in the ground, eventually it springs forth into something that was intended to be, which was, if you plant an apple seed, an apple tree is going to come up. If you plant, a peach tree, a peach seed, a peach tree is going to come up. What we bury or plant or stuff is going to come up in some way, shape, or form. So, as I was thinking about it this morning, it was hard because I realized I had buried some unforgiveness unintentionally, but I didn't realize it was in there. I buried some unforgiveness towards some extended family members that I had not, one, recognized because I buried it so deep. Two, It was just there. And so I decided that I needed to forgive again. And so once I did that, a weight kind of lifted off me. And just wanted to, at least, for those of you who celebrate the Easter part of the Peaster, uh, is there anything that you've buried? And if so, might you want to just attend to that? Consider it. If any forgiveness is needed, definitely explore that. I'd encourage you to do it. I've kind of put a lot out there for us to pause and consider. Again, these are just 15 to 20 minutes for us to just be together. I'm here. I want to be of encouragement to you, to encourage you in your motherhood journey, and just provide a time and space for this to just be about you. So I'd love to hear from you. Definitely, as you listen to this, drop your comments in there. I will definitely respond. If at any point in time there's anything that you don't feel comfortable dropping a comment in and want to DM me, but definitely let me know your thoughts about family traditions and anything that you may have been burying. I wish I could say I had a green thumb. All I know is what you plant is what's going to come up. But the hope that I want to put forth to you is that even if something is buried and it's been coming out certain ways, that may not be on the positive side, there is still hope for change. Things can change. It is possible to change. And as I said, I recognize some unforgiveness that I didn't have. I know that as a result of my forgiving, then there's going to be more positive outcome later on, starting with me and then for the relationship. So be encouraged. Again, this is Dr. Michelle Berry, that's me. So glad that you could be with us today for Tea Time Time Out with Moms.